What's good, creative people? Welcome to Creative Insights, and this is Robbie Bright Jones from RBJ Creative Studio. So today, we are here with the whole Creative Insight thing, and let me explain Creative Insight for a minute. So Creative Insight is just like an insight into creativity, talking about graphic design as a whole. I'm going to give you guys an insight in how creative people go about their designs, and that's from the scratch. We're talking about the scratch, from learning the tools in Photoshop to layers to everything. So we're going to start with the tools. That's the whole thing at the left side of Photoshop. So I would want you to fasten your seat belt because it's going to be a very smooth and also somewhat rough ride. And so I don't know how I'm going to categorize this, but we might get like half of all these tools in a video and get another half of all these tools in another video, or we might even get all the tools in one video. I don't really know, but let's see what we're going to do about it. So as a beginner, if you are introduced to Photoshop for the first time, you'd have to get a few knowledge about Photoshop. So Photoshop is basically a software that's used for editing pictures. That's why it has the name Photoshop. So it's used for editing pictures. But then we've upgraded to this certain point that you can use Photoshop to do flyers, to do whatever. But the basic idea behind Photoshop is used to edit photos. That's why somebody will be like, they photoshopped this picture, or my lip has been photoshopped, or my head has been photoshopped, meaning you edited the picture using Photoshop. So basically Photoshop is used for doing that. So we the modern people, we the modern creatives, we've just modernized it by using it to create flyers, mock-ups, templates, whatever, a whole lot. So first of all, this is the interface of Photoshop, starting from where the file to the help is, down to the navigator, to the histogram, down to the layers, to the channel, the parts, and everything. This is the whole interface of Photoshop. And what you are seeing here, this white space you are seeing, is the workspace. This you are seeing here is the workspace, and we have the rulers up here. This is the rulers. So you use the rulers to, you use it for measurement, alignment, and all those things. But this whole thing you are looking at right now is called interface. Okay, so this is Photoshop 2019. I'll try as much as possible to leave a link in the description so you can get the software and go along with me. Maybe you'll be using a lower version of Photoshop. It might not go along with what I'll be doing, so you need to upgrade to the new version. That's the how do you call it, the 2019. The newer version of Photoshop is 2021, Photoshop 2021, but then I'm using 2019 because I just don't want to move. I just don't want to upgrade, because sometimes upgrading to the next thing is very painful. I've been stuck with this Photoshop 2019 and I don't feel like moving on. But then probably I might move on as time goes on. So let's get to it. First of all, we're going to start with the tools. Get to know what the tools are used for, and a whole lot. So first of all, we start with the move tool. The move tool, when you put the mouse on the move tool and you leave it like that, you see they will show you this type of thing, move tool, and the shortcut for move tool is V. And they've given a very small brief description under the move tool, and they are saying it moves a selection or layer. moves a selection or layer. So okay, please duly focus on the move tool for me. If I choose any other tool, I'm just using it to guide you so that you get to understand the move tool well. So just focus on the move tool for me. Okay, so we have a few rectangles and squares here. We have a few rectangles and squares here. So basically the move tool is used to move a layer or a selection. That's what they are saying here. So let's say this rectangle here is a layer. It's a layer. I want to move it from here to here. So I just click, you click and hold, then you drag to where you want to move it, then you just leave it like that. So the move tool is basically used for moving selections or layers. So they say move tool, and the name even, it's like a self-explanatory kind of thing. It's a move tool. Yeah, it's like a move tool. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the move tool around, do whatever you want to do. There's another thing that you have to know. The move tool also can be used to transform a selection or a layer. So we have our rectangle here, and I'd like to transform the rectangle from being small to being big. So I will just, you see there's this not four, it's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, like 8. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 8. These 8 dots stand for the corners of the rectangle. So if I want to expand the rectangle, it's either I click on this side, or on this side, or on this side, or on this side. It depends on where you're going to click. And you can toggle the selection, you can toggle these dots by clicking on the show transform controls. It's up here, show transform controls. And the reason why they're saying show transform controls means you transform the rectangle with these dots. So it's called controls, meaning you use these dots to control the control or transform the rectangle. So I'm going to hold on this upper right dot here, click on it, and as I clicked on it, you see they gave me these 3 guys, and also dimensions and the sizes and everything. So basically what you have to know about this guy is he's called the warp. The warp is used to it's used for free transformation and all. It's a whole lot, but we won't get there. We will get there as time goes on. But as you can see, this sign means stop or cancel or exit, and this sign means correct or okay or enter. So you click on the upper right corner of this. Then if you want to do anything like transform or bring it up, you just click and hold. You click and hold the left mouse, the left button on the mouse. Then you just drag to wherever you want to drag it to. So as you can see, I've hold the left button on the mouse and I'm dragging. I can also bring it back. I can also take it upwards. I can also bring it down. I can also do whatever I want with it. And that's what basically the transform controls does. So these things that I'm saying, it's all in the move tool. It's all involved with the move tool. There's one thing that you have to notice here. And if you want to transform something and you don't want to transform it without destroying the size or anything, let's say let me just bring in a star. Let me bring in a star real quick. As I said earlier on, nothing of these things I'm doing should you bring your mind to it. We are working solely on the move tool. Okay, so I just brought in a star. You see, the star has a very how should I put it? It has a very even selection. It has even shapes. It has even points. So if I hold the transform control right now and I drag like this, you see it transformed in a way that it wouldn't be used again because the stars just warped itself. We have this thing that you can do to make it scale up without destroying the way it looks. So what you have to do is hold shift. First of all, you click on the transform, then you hold shift. So as you hold shift, then you drag to where you want to drag it. I don't know if you're seeing this, but you see it's transforming very well without any trouble or any whatever. So the shift basically holds it in place as you are dragging or transforming or scaling it. Then there's this thing too. So let's say I want to scale the star, but I want to scale the star so that it scales from the middle coming up. I don't know if you get this, but you want to scale it. You want to scale it in an even proportion. So you hold shift. First of all, you click so that the transform whatever comes on. Then you hold shift plus alternate. You need to add alternate to the shift. Then you drag. So as you can see, it is scaling up, but it's scaling up and giving us an even proportion. It's not scaling to the right, it's not scaling to the left, it's scaling from the middle coming up. I hope you understand. So if you want to scale normally, just hold shift and you can scale to whatever you want to do it. Or if you want to scale from the middle coming, you just hold alternate also, then you drag it, then you scale it very nicely. Okay, so when you are done with the scaling, what you have to do is just go up here, then you click on the enter or OK symbol here. But if you do a transform and you don't want it, you can just click on the stop sign here, and yeah, we're good to go. So one thing, I don't know if you understand this, but this is what basically the move tool is used for. Yeah, for transforming and also for moving stuff. One thing that you should know is it's also used for selection, as they said earlier on. Under it moves a selection or layer. So I'm going to select these three guys. What I have to do is, first of all, I would have to drag the mouse here, but then dragging, you have to hold the left mouse button, then you drag. So I'll just click. I've clicked, then I'll hold it. I won't let it go. I'll hold it, then I'll drag here. So as I dragged all over it, I selected the three shapes here. I selected the rectangle, both the rectangles, and also the star. Let me do it again so you get a very nice look. So you just drag, and it drags with the whole thing. It selects the whole thing. So now if I want to transform, I can just transform all of them. I don't know if you are seeing this. So let's just hold and drag to select them. You can move them around. You can also click on the dots and just transform any way you want it to be, and you're good to go. So basically the move tool is used for transforming, moving, and also making selection and scaling and everything. So my comments will be open. You can ask me any question you want in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer them for you, based on what you learned or what baffles you in the video. So this is going to be it for the move tool. I'm very sure I've hit I've done my best to hit on every aspect of the move tool. Okay, so let's move on to the next tool. So the next tool is the rectangular marquee tool. Rectangular marquee tool. Wait. I almost skipped one guy. So let's right click on the move tool, and it gives us the move tool and an artboard tool. You see, the artboard tool is when you are working not only in one workspace. You see, we have this white guy here. We can also create another white guy beside him. So if we would want to work on both artworks, this is where we want to go. We want to go to the artboard tool, where we can create the artboards and everything, move them and all those things. But this video solely is on move tool. For the artboard tool, I've already done a video on it, but then I'll go over it again as time goes on. So yeah, let's move on to the rectangular marquee tool. For the rectangular marquee tool, let's right click. We have 4 selections here. We have the rectangular marquee tool, the elliptical marquee tool, single row, single column marquee tool. The most used tool here is the rectangular marquee tool. Okay, so I want to make a selection. I want to select half of this rectangle. The rectangular marquee tool does it with ease. So you just select it, you click on the left mouse button, then you drag. You've made a selection. It's as simple as that. You just, let me go over again. You click on the left mouse button and you hold, then you drag, and it creates the selection. So let's say I just drag this and I want to divide the rectangle in two. As I dragged over the side or half of the rectangle, I can now have the access to divide the rectangle in two. I don't know if you understand this. Yeah. So as it happens like this, the rectangular marquee tool has played its role. What you have to do is just move on to another thing and just get to it. So right now I can't go further and explain how the rectangular marquee tool is going to help you and all those things. I just want to get you to understand what it does first before we move on to what it's going to do actually. Then we also have the elliptical marquee tool. The elliptical marquee tool also it's like a circle. It creates a circle selection instead of the rectangle selection. So let me show you one thing that it can also do. So instead of just, you see, we did something with the star when we were transforming it. Same thing applies to the elliptical marquee tool. If you just drag it like this, it's going to give you like a random circle, random ellipse. But if you want it to open with a precise circle, you'd have to hold shift. You see, when you hold shift gives you a very precise circle. It doesn't give you any warped circle or whatsoever. So I'm holding shift right now and I'm dragging, and as you can see, it's giving me a very perfect ellipse or a very perfect round selection. So this is what basically the elliptical marquee tool is used for. So now let me go back to the rectangular marquee tool and let you know what you can use the rectangular marquee tool for. So we have the rectangles here, and don't worry, I'll explain all this side for you. I'll explain everything. I just want you to get the understanding of where I am right now. So first of all, I don't know if you understand this, but we have something called rasterizing. So we are not there yet, but let me just hit on it. Rasterizing means unlocking or giving way or paving way to do it's like putting a lock on a gate. You can't enter the door, you can't enter the gate, but then the moment you take off the lock, you can enter. So if you can see, we have like a chain kind of thing here on the rectangle. This is our lock. And if we want to take off this thing, we'd have to rasterize first. And if you rasterize, you'd have the opportunity to cut the rectangle. You'd have the opportunity to do whatever you want with this layer right here. You can divide it into 1,000, you can divide it into 2, you can divide it into whatever you want to, but you can't do anything to it the moment because we have the lock thing here. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click on the rectangle, and then just a little bit, I don't know why right click on the rectangle, and if you go through all these, you'll find rasterized layer here. You see there's rasterized layer here, you just click on it, and now you don't have the chain thing over there again, meaning we can now destroy the rectangle as much as we want. So now let's go back to the rectangular marquee tool. I chose the rectangular marquee tool and I made a selection dividing it into two. Now I want to divide the rectangle, take the upper part off so that we have different selections. So now I'll right click in the middle, not outside, in the middle, inside of the selection. So from here to here to here, all is in the middle of the selection. So you right click, and we have a lot of options here, but what we are looking for is layer via copy, layer via cut. For the layer via copy, if you click on it right now, it's going to give you a selection of what you selected. It's not going to take it off. So look at what we got. You see, we got half of what we selected. We didn't get the actual thing out of there, but we got a copy of what we selected. Now let me go back. Let me just go back. So let's right click. Instead of layer via copy, we'll hit on layer via cut. Now hitting on layer via cut is going to divide the thing into two. So instead of giving you a copy, it's not going to give you a copy at this time around. It's just going to divide it into two. So if I hold on this guy and drag it down, you can see that we've divided into two. And that's the main use of the rectangular marquee tool. It's used for making selections so that you can do whatever you want with the selected area. I don't know if you understand this. Yeah, you can go back and watch the video so you understand it well, because this is a recorded video. Yeah, so this is basically the use of the rectangular marquee tool, and it's very perfect. Same thing applies to the elliptical marquee tool. You can make a selection. Let's turn off the lower parts. You can make a selection on top of the rectangle. Then you go into the mid, not outside but inside. Then you right click and hit on layer via cut. You go and drag it off, and as you can see, we took off this circle from the rectangle, and that's the use of the rectangular marquee tool and also the elliptical marquee tool. Same thing applies to the single row marquee tool. It also does the same. It's also used for cutting and everything. So note this for me. Okay, so what we have to do now is move on to the next tool. So the next tool is the lasso tool, and we have 3 guys here. I don't know, but I think I would have to end the video at the magic one. That's the fourth tool. Yeah. So now the lasso tool and polygonal lasso tool and magnetic lasso tool are also used for selections. So you see, the rectangular marquee tool was giving me a precise selection. I don't know if you understand. It was giving me a precise selection, and even if you hover on the tool, it can also show you how the tool is used. So as you can see, the person was just drawing a line. So what I want to do here is I want to draw a line in the rectangle. So I'll select the rectangle here. Yeah, I'll select the rectangle and I'll draw a line. Let me just draw something random. So something like this, and this is a selection. So this is what the lasso tool is used for. It gives you the opportunity to draw whatever selection you want to draw. You can draw any selection you want, and it works perfectly. So you draw the selection, you right click, you go to layer via cut. It does the same thing basically. Same thing applies to the polygonal lasso tool, just that the polygonal lasso tool doesn't give you the free form that you want. It gives you the type of like a straight. You see, there's no curve thing in it. It's only point. I don't know if you understand. Then you end at you put it at where you started, and it gives you the selection. So let me try another point. Then I get back to where I started. You see, as I connect the dots, you see there is going to be this round little circle beside the polygonal lasso tool. Then you just click on it. Then you've done with your selection, and it's as simple as that. Same thing applies to the same thing applies to the magnetic lasso tool. It's also used for making selections, but this time around it attaches itself to whatever layer or selection that you take it near to. So let me just show you. You click right here, then you get close to whatever you want to attach. So as I'm moving, the magnet, it's working like a magnet. I don't know if you can see it. It's working like a magnet. It's attaching itself to the rectangle here, and as you can see, it's leaving dots behind. The dots can be, how should I put it? The dots are like it's like leaving traces of what it has done. So if I'm to click on backspace right now, it will go back to the previous dot. I don't know if you saw that. If I click on another sorry guys, I mean, I'm talking too much, but then it's for your own good. I almost said backspace. Oh, come on. So yeah, you just click and start moving, and it latches itself to whatever you want to use it for. That's basically what the magnetic lasso tool is used for, and it's also very nice. But then it's one of those guys that people don't normally use. We are all in for the lasso tool and the polygonal tool, and you also have this special tool somewhere that we also use for selection. Yes, or the almighty pen tool, but we'll get there. So this is basically what the lasso tool is used for. I think I'm saying too much basically. Yeah, I think we are working on basics. So yeah, basically, yeah. So let's move on to the next tool. The next tool is a magic wand tool. Magic wand gives you the magic and everything. So as you can see here, we have a quick selection tool and a magic wand. For this, I'll bring in an image real quick. Let me bring in an image real quick so we can continue with all these. An image. Just spare me this. I'll get you the image very soon. Okay. Let me just bring my buffer here. Okay. So the magic wand works in a mysterious way. It works like, I think I would have to wait for the image to open so I can perfectly explain the magic wand. Nice. So this guy right here is Ken Black. He's a musician, he's an artist, he raps, he sings, he's very good and a whole lot. I'll make sure to leave his link somewhere in the description so you can follow him on Instagram and whatever. Yeah, so here is the image. What you have to do with the magic wand is you select the magic wand. The magic wand basically selects one color. So if I'm to click on ash here, the magic wand is going to click on the sampled color that I clicked on. So as you can see, all the selection that the magic wand has made is the same color right here. Is the same color right here. So the selection all here is ash. I don't know if you understand. The selection is ash here. So if I'm to let me just deselect this and click on the orange too. Let me click on the orange so you see how it also works. So you click on the orange and it gives you the it selects mostly or mainly the colors around where you selected it. So wherever I click right now, it's like a tone. And one thing that you have to notice, there are two ways about this magic wand thing. If I'm to select on the red cap right here and it gives me the small selection, I can right click in the selection and choose similar or grow, but I prefer to choose similar. If you choose similar, the selection right here is going to select similar colors of where you've selected. So let me just click on a similar and it's going to, you see, it's selected almost all the sampled colors that I first clicked on. Then you'd have to go along you'd have to keep on clicking. And one thing that you have to notice is if you want to click in addition to the selection that you've already made, you hold shift and you see there's going to be this plus sign near the magic wand. Then you just keep on clicking around the oranges or wherever you want to select. It basically helps you to keep on selecting what you want to select, and that's how it works. Let's move on to the ash tool so you see how it works on the ash. I'll just select something random, right click here and move on to similar, and it's going to select mostly all the ash in the image. Yeah, so that's how the magic wand works. So imagine if you're having a white background on an image and you use the magic wand to click on it, it's just going to select the whole thing for you so you can delete it or cut it out or use whatever you want to do with it. So that's basically the magic wand. Let's move on to the quick selection tool. So the quick selection tool is also, it's self-explanatory. It means you're going to select something, or I don't know, but if you look up here, we have a negative sign here, we have a plus sign here, we have no sign here. So the plus sign basically means you are selecting an area. So let me select an area, that's the orange part. What you're going to do is you're going to click and drag and hover on where you want it to select. So I just click on the orange You see, I didn't even go further. It selected the whole thing here. So if I want to keep on selecting, I'll reduce the size of the quick selection tool. Then I'll just keep on selecting. You see, keep on selecting, and now we are almost done with it. We just have a few dark parts here. So you reduce the selection, then you just keep on selecting here. Then you just keep on selecting here, and that's it. The quick selection tool for you guys. It's very elite. It does its work without complaining and everything. It's very nice. So this is the plus sign. Let's move on to the negative sign. So the negative sign, I'm pretty sure you have a clue about what it does. It subtracts what you've selected already. So let me just take this dark place out. So you just deselect something like this. So instead of selecting or like adding more selection to what you've already selected, it will deselect it for you. That's the main use of the negative sign on the selection tool. Okay, so basically this is what the selection does, or the magic one and the quick selection tool does for the whole effect and everything. So we've covered 4 tools now. Kindly leave me a question in the comment section. I'll answer it for you. And if you want, and how should I put it, if you want me to go over again, I don't know if I can do that. I won't promise you that I'm going to go over. You'd have to rewatch the video, or you'd have to rewatch the part. I'm going to divide the video into sections so that you can get to go back and watch and all those things. So yeah guys, these are 4 tools for you. The move tool, the rectangular marquee tool, the lasso tool, and the quick selection and magic wand tool. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment as usual. I mean, do whatever you have to do, and yeah, I've got you guys. So this is Creative Insight episode 1, Creative Insight season 1 episode 1, with 4 tools covered. So watch out for the next episode that's going to cover the crop tool, the frame tool, and the eyedropper tool, and the rest. Yeah, so kindly subscribe, follow me on my Instagram for more inspirational works. I have a lot of works on Instagram, more designs that you can also get inspiration from. Yeah, so I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.